Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of At My Sister's House. Well, this episode is very important and near and dear to me. I have asked for this one because specifically, I'm going to be very transparent today. This is one that I call this particular sister on that I know I need help with in my own home. And I know many of us could use the help, the advice, and even the money strategies. And that's what we're talking about today, money. So I want to welcome on today's show, my sister, our sister, no stranger to At My Sister's House, Sister Zora Muhammad. Thank you for being on, Sister Zora.
Thank you for asking me.
Now, for those of you who have watched some of the episodes, Sister Zora was on the very first show talking about the true definition of sisterhood. Well, I invited her back on because one thing my sister is very versed in, very knowledgeable in, and is self-taught in is money management. I thank Allah because so many times I call you and it's like, help. Where are we going wrong here? So I thought this would be a great topic, a great subject, because it's the start of a new year. Mm-hmm. And so many people talk about saving, investing. Where did I go wrong last year with my money? We're doing taxes. And you're looking and saying, I made how much? Where is it?
Yes.
This is the perfect time, starting off the new year, on getting control of our dollars and seeing what we can do better this year than last year. So that's kind of where we're going today. Okay. So, Sister Zora, kicking it off. What is the number one issue you see with us and money?
Okay, I'm a proponent of doing a budget.
Okay.
I've been doing a budget since my early 20s because I wanted to know where my money went. And I had calculated, I wanted to calculate how long it was going to take me not to have any bills.
Right.
My whole life, my goal is debt-free.
Yes, ma'am.
Periodically, I get in debt, but I know how to get back out.
Right.
First of all, I have a budget. My budget has everything. At the time, it was rent. Of course, got a house note now, house insurance, car note, car insurance, any credit cards, any loans, light bill, gas bill, phone bill, all the bills, recreation, going to the movies, going to concerts, everything that I'm going to spend money for is in my budget. So therefore, I know if I have enough money to cover it. And a lot of times, we as people, we have all these expenses. We really don't have enough money to cover all the things that we want to do. So either you want to cut back on your lifestyle some, or in my case, I did not. I wanted some more money.
Right.
So I just found ways to make extra money. And that's why I learned to do a lot of things, because whatever your skill or talent is, use it to make money for yourself. You asked me, your husband asked, why would you ask me about dinners? Well, dinners was my second or third income for a lot of years. I cooked dinners. Sold dinners at the factories. Now they got food trucks. When I was young, we just packed them up in boxes and took them to the factories and was offices and sold dinners. But you can't know where your shortcomings or shortfall is if you don't know what you're spending. In addition to that, say you've allowed $20 a month to go to the movies and $50 to get. You need to take that out and put it in an envelope.
Okay.
So I know that I need $50 a week for gas, and I like to eat out. So $50 a week. Okay, I'm going to put that in an envelope. So I'm not going to charge it, because remember, our goal is to get out of debt.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not charging. I'm only spending this $50. Did I say a week? I'm in a day.
You spend $50 a day on gas?
I drive.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, so I allow myself. No, and I don't. Sometimes I only spend $20. So, but this is good. If I allow $50 a day and I don't spend it, guess what? I have some money at the end of the week that I can save, that I can put it somewhere to make it grow. So all of the things that I've learned has been a lifetime of experience. It's not that I went to school for any of this. When I wanted to get my builder's license, I went to school.
Right.
And I learned. I actually took a class where we physically built a house. And that was so much fun. And then I took the test hard, but I got my builder's license. When I wanted to help my brother in his income tax business, I took the certification classes and I got my certificate to do income taxes. Find ways of things that are of interest to you to make money. A sister told me she didn't have no money. She know how to braid hair.
Right.
I said, you
use your skills. Right.
Because I can tell you 3 or 4, heck, my daughter, my granddaughter, I can tell you 3 or 4 people right now who get their hair braided who would pay you.
I think a lot of times when we think money, we think job.
Yeah, but we got to get a job is just over broke.
Right.
It's good to have a job, don't get me wrong. I worked 30-some years. I retired from the state of Michigan as a manager of a social service office. But I've always had other money. That was what gave me insurance. And it's good to have insurance. Sometimes you work because you need insurance. But I worked for insurance, and I wanted a stable income because I was a single mother a lot of years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I like to travel, and I've taught my children to travel. I like to live well. So that job was the stability. But I've sold almost everything you can think of.
Yes, ma'am. Because
I needed other income. I opened a restaurant. There's so many things that you can do. I opened a restaurant with no money.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember that. Maria and Liz and I had a restaurant on Coolidge, Schaefer and John C. Lodge in this building. A friend of mine owned the building. He let us pay 1 month rent, no security and all of that. We bought food and started cooking immediately. People started coming. There's so many things you can do.
I think what you're saying that ties into a lot of times the skills and talents. Tapping into your skills and talents to figure ways to then create income so that the job is not the only income you have. Because my husband and I, that's where we're at. So when you speak about the dinner sales, my husband's an excellent cook. He's an excellent cook. So he works at a factory. So another stream of income is now providing dinners at the factory. But we realize, and this is, again, full transparency, the more money we made, the more money we spent.
Oh, it's so much when you talk about money. First of all, okay, do a budget.
Right.
Write down all your expenses. Make sure you can cover them. A married couple, if you can get all of your expenses into one income, and you're making 30, 40, 50,000, how much would you have if you saved that 50,000 and put it in a place about money where it's getting interest, where your money is compounding?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of you may not know. You can, it's so much when you talk about money, it's so much I want to say. Right now, once you get your finances together and you have some money to save, I'm against saving money in a bank. Period.
Right.
You should have some money in the bank. You should have 6 months worth of expenses in an account at a bank. And that's only because you might need to go get it tomorrow.
Right.
And all these other things that you use, you can get it, but it may take longer. If your furnace go out tonight, you want to call a furnace repairman. So
right.
You need to have money. So only 6 months worth of expenses in a bank. But other than that, you need to find a vehicle, and there are some that compounds your money, compounds it. For example, I'm involved in a savings program that pays me 4.15% interest weekly.
Wow.
Weekly. Do you know that banks pay 1.5% yearly? I had $25,000 in a bank, and they sent me a check for $50. I was livid.
Right.
You hear me? But they're charging 25, 26, 27, 28% interest on credit cards. And I got my money in your bank, and you give me $50 for the year.
Yeah.
So there are ways where you can earn that weekly.
And what we're going to do is know with a surety. I know how many people are watching. I know you have questions about how to get 4.15% 0.1 interest a week. So we will have Sister Zora's information included so that she can tell you about the savings program so you can be a part of that.
Oh, yes.
So we'll make sure that that is an avenue for those who need it and want that to increase their monies.
Yeah, but I really didn't start at the appropriate place. I'm going to tell you, I'm a strong advocate of tithing.
Yes, ma'am.
So Muslims, some people say Muslims tithe, yes.
Yes.
10% of everything you earn, I do it after taxes. I do a net. 10% of my net, because I figure the part that I don't get ain't mine.
Right.
So the part that I do get is mine. So 10% of what I earn, I have to give in charity.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people have thought over the years that I'm rich. And I accept, God, thank you.
No, I was one of those people.
Yeah, but it's not even a matter of, it's not. God blesses me. Right. Honestly, I can need something today. Tomorrow, my mother scared her one time to death because I can't remember the exact amount, but I needed an exact dollar amount, maybe $172.30. Say that's it. And I went to my mother's house, and I had not lived in my mother's house for 15, 20 years. So I had an envelope there from an insurance company. I'm so sick of this junk mail. Why are they sending you junk mail at your house? So I just happened to open it. It was a check for $172. My mama was old. I started screaming. Mama was in the basement. I started screaming and hollering. And she's trying to run up the stairs to see what was wrong with me. And I had told her how much I needed. I said, look at this. When my husband, when I married him, I would get checks in the mail, weird kinds of checks where I had no idea. I had an insurance company send a check to my mama's house.
Right.
I ain't lived there in 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was the exact amount I needed. So I say this because I want to impress upon your listeners, you must give in charity.
Right.
That's why they say it is better to give than receive. The reason it's better to give than receive is because you can't be God-given.
Right.
I used to sing this church song, the more you give, the more he gives to you.
Right.
So keep on giving because it's really true that you can't be God-given no matter how I try. If I had enough time, I would tell the audience the story of my house.
Right.
I live in a neighborhood. A lot of people that live in my neighborhood are rich. I mean, they're wealthy. They got real money. But
it's a very beautiful neighborhood. Yes.
God gave me that house.
Right.
And one day, I'll either write the book or tell the story on another show. But I just want to emphasize, if you really want wealth, you have to learn to give. Look at the wealthiest people in the world. They all give.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, Oprah became famous because on her show, she gives stuff.
Yes.
And people got excited. And I mean, Tyler Perry, all of these people, Michael Jackson, Tyler Perry, you can go on and on and on. If you want things, just start giving. And it can be a little bit. It can be $1 if that's all you have. Give $1 to the beggar on the corner.
Right.
And watch that multiply. But if you don't have any place to give, you can always donate to our mosque.
Right.
Savings they give.
We'll drop that link as well. But you're the zakat. Yes. Because sometimes I think we think to ourselves, I barely got enough for me. So we don't think about the fact that by giving, you're opening your hand to receive more than what you're holding on so tightly to.
Now you're a biblical, more biblical scholar than me. But you know the story of the woman. The stranger came and asked, and she gave him her last. And then she was blessed tremendously.
Yes.
So I don't want to stay on it, but I do want to encourage us as a people. We always want to take. Well, you ain't getting nowhere.
Right.
But if you give, things will just open up tremendously for you. I could write books. Maria keep telling me to write them about how God gives to me when I give. So giving is number one. Then write your budget. You see how much you have to give. Now, the bottom line is when you write your budget, your income side, you automatically take off 20%. 10% for use, for savings, and 10% for giving.
Okay, now stop. Now, I will be honest. I struggle with this one. Mm-hmm. especially as a single mother, I struggle with it. How do you pay yourself when what you brought in is about all you have to pay out?
You just have to. Say you got $100. You get paid this week, you earn $100. In your mind, you got to tell yourself, I only got 80.
Yes, ma'am.
And that 80 is what has to pay your bills.
Right.
Now, true enough, it might not cover your bills, but that little $20 ain't going to make no difference anyway. So you might as well pay yourself and pay charity. One thing about it, when you pay that 10% charity, you're going to be blessed. Your insurance is going to go down. That has happened to me. All kinds of things are going to happen to make that 10% multiplied so greatly that $80 is really more than
all you need. Yes, ma'am.
So please, every rich person will, if you listen to, they will tell you, you have to pay yourself first and you have to give.
Yes, ma'am.
So that $100 is only 80. So you see how many bills you can pay with the 80.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe you can't pay them all. Right. Then you need to get on the phone and make some calls. I can't pay you this amount. Can I pay interest only until you get better?
Right.
You know, a lot of creditors will take the interest payment.
Yes, ma'am.
Say, I can't pay you the $300 this month, but I can pay you the $50 interest.
Right.
So you do that, but then you find other ways to make money. If you know you don't have enough, you have to find other ways to make money. Either get a better job, find a second stream of income, and that's when your skills and talents come into play.
Yes, ma'am.
My daughter would be a great customer for somebody like to go grocery shopping. She hates it.
Right.
She always wanted me to go. I'm not going grocery shopping. But that's what Instacart has. See,
yes.
Our other ethnicities, they look at opportunity in what their skills and talents are. Somebody wants you to go grocery shopping for them.
Yeah.
So they done build a whole thing, Instacart.
Exactly.
Where and something else where you go shopping, people deliver their groceries.
Right.
So, but you like to shop. That could have been you.
Right.
There are people that shop for clothes and shoes and. Okay, so shopping is one. Driving. Oh my God. I know. I do a lot of things, but I like driving. So when I need money, I drive.
Right.
And I ain't ashamed. I love driving. I meet the nicest people. Since I don't work anymore, it gives me a customer base for other things that I'm doing. So driving. When Lyft and Uber, you can make $1,000 a week. Additional money.
Yes.
And I can prove it.
Right.
I ain't telling y'all nothing I don't do.
Right.
I was making $500, $600 a day cooking. Cooking is hard work. I don't want to do that no more.
So when we say cooking, for those of you who are watching and you know, like I said, my husband cooks. So let's just do the mathematics. If you, for example, he's in a plant, does 20 dinners, let's do easy numbers, 10 dinners at $15. That's $150 extra per day that he decides to cook. So when you're saying cooking, that's what you're saying. Like some of you have skills. Just like you'll see people here in the city of Detroit, they'll set up on the corner. They probably have their license, food license, and they'll have dinners for sale or fish sandwiches for sale. There's a little boy who was featured in the Detroit News on the corner right here on 7 Mile. He has a tent set up with 6 different pictures of Kool-Aid. And he was featured in the newspaper.
There used to be a little girl on Curtis and Wyoming that did that. I mean, lemonade stands, we used to do that.
When we were little. So it's getting into the creativity of figuring out ways of not saying, I don't have enough, but how do you come up with ways to create an extra income regardless to what? One sister and I here, Sister Yasina and I started, because we both can type and do research, a virtual secretarial service, helping those who have businesses who may need help with typing resumes, business plans, etc. And it would create extra income. Wow. But it was something we could do from home with our children and use our skill set.
You talking about children, babysitting, oh my God.
Yes.
People make a really good living babysitting.
Right.
if you have a child and can't get out and work,
Right.
make your home a daycare center.
Exactly.
And have an extra income. But I don't want to dwell a whole lot on extra income.
Right.
People know what their skills are. Jewelry making.
Yes.
Tam, sewing,
Yeah.
all of those are things. Cleaning, God knows.
Right.
Oh, I probably need to look for somebody right now.
Okay. So if you have a maid service in the Detroit area, contact us.
Yeah.
But using those skills. So that's the point. We're just driving home when they're talking about money, creating those extra incomes and doing for self.
Now, there's several things that I really want to talk about as far as sharing. One is insurance.
Yes.
Other ethnicities use insurance as a way of legacy planning for their families. Now, I can tell you, my grandchildren have index universal life plans. No, I'm praying that she lives to be 100, so it ain't about her.
Right.
Her mother using it to bury her. Although I am really have a pet peeve about people doing GoFundMe's to bury people.
Yes.
Insurance is too inexpensive. Heck, don't smoke a pack of cigarettes. Don't eat a bean pie. Give up a couple bags of chips. Insurance is not expensive. So
Right.
we should be able to bury our own.
Yes.
And I have a thing about that. But in addition to that, if you, I'm thinking if I start an IUL for my granddaughter now, by the time she's 30, she'll be worth $1 million. But see, we don't think about that.
Right. Right.
And we should. We need to think the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, study the white man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can learn from him.
Right.
And we don't. We just keep doing what we do, but
Right.
we need to do better.
Yes.
So insurance plans, index universal life, or even whole life. I like index universal life. It grows at a higher rate of interest than whole life. But you want a policy that's going to earn money.
Right. Okay.
So even if she don't keep it till she's 30, maybe she's 21 and want to buy a car. Okay, pull the money out of your policy and pay cash for the car. Don't get in debt.
Right.
There's two things that I wish I could impress upon our community is first, how to get out of debt and stay out of debt.
Yes.
And I can teach you how to get out of debt. As I've been in debt and I've been out. And when I bought my trucking company, I got back in debt because trucking is a very expensive business.
Okay.
But I'm almost debt free again.
Right.
So I can definitely teach someone how to do it because I've done it. And I have one more bill and I'll be out of debt again. This year, next month, March, I'll be out of debt again.
And I have to say, that's one of the things I have to be honest, I admire. Because you will set a goal. And before I knew it, I look up and you're like, that goal is done. And you are due diligent with making sure when the focus is on getting out, you stay focused on, I'm paying that credit card off. I'm paying off that car. And you stay focused. And that's because a lot of times I think what happens is what you're saying. We do impulse buying. I work in retail, so I'm always looking and seeing something. And as soon as I see the word sale in my mind, and this is what I wanted to speak to you about, my want become my need. So I want it, so now I need it. And I realize that's what's keeping us in our debt. Because now I have a whole bunch of the things I wanted that I truly don't need, but I've convinced myself I needed them.
Okay, so remember that envelope with the money?
Yes.
Okay, you got $50 a day. Some people may have $20. I had a coworker once, she put this system into play and it worked for her. She had $20 a day. And so if somebody brought in, if we had a potluck or something, this is her lunch money. She didn't spend it. She only spent $2 or $5. Okay, now she got $15 that day left. If that happens 3 or 4 times a week, she might have $50 or $60. That can be your splurge money because you used it wisely and you didn't spend it. So if you do that for a week and you got $50 this week, $50 next week. If a pair of boots gonna sell for $20, you don't have to charge it, and you don't have to take it from your household income, and you don't have to feel guilty. You take it out that envelope that has this money left over.
Okay.
That
yes,
you
ma'am.
didn't spend.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, when you start saving money, you're gonna spend less money because you don't want to. When you see your money grow,
Right.
you're gonna want to keep seeing it grow.
It becomes addictive.
It does. And we got an amen over there in the amen corner. My granddaughter, people give her money, guess what she does with it? She's got a savings account. I got a universal life policy on her. She has a savings account. And we'll be shopping. She said, "Oh, Granny, well, you got some money, don't you?"
Right.
"Oh, I can't spend my money." "What you mean you can't spend your money?" She want to save her money.
Right.
If we can just get our family, our community to understand and start saving, they'll start changing. I know where it came from, because in slavery, you couldn't have any money.
Right.
It was illegal for black people to have money. That's why we didn't save no money.
Right.
Because if you save money, you were either going to get killed or go to jail, because you couldn't have money. But
Right.
now we can have money. So now we need to learn to save.
Yes, ma'am.
So do a budget.
Do a budget.
Find out if you have enough to cover your bills, and your bills are coming out of 80% of your income, not a dime more.
Okay.
Because the other 20%, 10 is going to charity, 10 is going to yourself. Now, taxes. Oh my God, why do we avoid taxes? Do you know that if IRS owes you some money and you don't file in 3 years, they keep it, they ain't gonna pay you.
Wow. No, I didn't.
So you have to do your taxes even if they owe you
Right.
within a 3-year period. Because if you don't, IRS could owe you $1,000 and you don't do your taxes, well, they're gonna keep it.
Yes, ma'am. So
So we should do our taxes. So that's another self-taught kind of thing I got involved in. And so people with children, you should have an earned income tax credit if your income is at a certain amount. If you're a two-parent family, you probably won't be able to. But any single parents, you need to make sure that your tax preparer check to ask them what the amount is, what the maximum amount you can make before you lose your earned income tax credit.
Okay.
Because that earned income tax credit and that child tax credit, you can come away with $8,000, $10,000. Okay, let me tell you what to do with it. If you don't have a car, pay cash for a car. Don't ever buy a new car. Buy a good used car and put a warranty on it and pay cash for it. I have 3 vehicles now. Yeah, I have 4. I got 3. They're paid for.
right.
I don't have a car note, and I'll never have another car note again. Because when you buy a new car, the day you drive it off the lot, it's an old car.
It's depreciated.
So get a good used car. Have a mechanic look at it. Put a warranty on it. So even my truck, I bought a truck.
And so that people know, we're not just talking about like a SUV truck.
Oh no, I bought a 26-foot non-CDL box truck. Lord have mercy.
And this is, again, an investment for
It's an
you for
investment.
extra income.
I took my money out the bank when I got that insult of an interest check, and I bought a truck.
And now that can now,
That is income, extra income. Plus, I was able to give a person a job. That is such a
to a
good
lot.
feeling to know that you can give a person a way to make money. I was going to expand the trucking business, but at my age, it's a lot of work, so I'm
Right.
not going to. But owner-operators, if you can get a truck, I would get a truck before I would buy a car.
so now let's cover some points.
Okay.
Budgeting.
Number 1. No, first charity.
First is charity.
Yeah. Number 2, budgeting.
Budgeting. We talked about 10% going to savings. 10% for yourself, paying yourself, 10% for your charity or tithes. We talked about the insurance.
Yes. Be able to bear yourself. And if you have enough, get the kind of insurance that grows.
Okay. And those two specifically you spoke of was the index
Index Universal Life.
and then the whole as a secondary. What's another, because a lot of times I know there's this saying, poor people, and I'm changing what I know the saying to be to just poor people. Poor people spend what they have, spend what they want, and beg for what they need. Meaning we have a tendency to buy the things we desire, but then when it comes down to the things we need to take care of, we don't have the money because we've spent it all on desires or looks.
But see, if you live in by a budget, that takes care of that.
Okay.
And living by a budget, what that lets you see is, okay, when I first started doing a budget, I was 18, 19, 20. I was very young. I wanted to see myself get out of debt. So, say I paid off the smallest bill first. I don't have that one no more. That goes in the drawer somewhere where I'm not going to use it. Then the next one, I pay that off. Okay, so I see myself getting out of debt. Now, if I can get myself out of debt, I can have whatever I want.
Right. Right.
And because I did that, my credit score went up to 769. All these credit cards increased my limits. I don't want them. Oh, one very important thing about credit. Credit is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
But we don't use credit wisely. We just go buy whatever we want and then pay these people 20-something% interest. That's crazy.
Right.
You should never buy what you cannot pay for.
Okay.
On a credit card. So when I use my credit cards, I pay. Oh, and you must have a credit card that gives you cash back. I got $371 from my AAA MasterCard last week. I was so happy. Okay, but this is how I use it. I pay my bills with my credit cards, my light bill, my gas bill, my water bill, credit card. But I have the money to pay it. So when the bill comes out, I pay the bill in full. Now, you have to be disciplined to do that because I don't care. I had put $2,733 on a credit card and I got to be, I had to pay it in full. I had to pay it in full. So, of course, I had to drive a lot because I was going to pay that bill in full.
Right.
When you pay that bill in full, you're not paying interest. So when they send me cards like, lower your interest, I don't care what the interest rate is. Because I'm never going to pay you any.
Right, right.
Because as long as you pay that bill in full every month, there is no interest. But you're still earning cash back. So it might be, I have forgotten I had that interest on that one. Because normally I cash it out at $60, $70, $80.
Right.
I cash it out. I don't like people owing me money, so I just cash it out immediately. But that's how you do with credit. You'll see that your credit is going to get good and your limits are going to increase, but keep doing it that way. So when I needed to do something, I took cash off 3 cards and did what I needed to do. Well, all of them. Now, you do pay a little bit for that because they charge you for taking cash off the card. But it's very little because I'm only keeping it 1 month. Right. Next month it's paid off again. So if you're going to use credit, learn to use it wisely. Never think in terms of, I got a year to pay this. Yeah, you done paid 3 times what you bought.
We've been taught that debt is slavery.
It is.
And we keep forgetting we're enslaving. We're putting our own self in slavery by constantly keeping up the debt. So learning, and you said this to me the other day, and it was so powerful. You have to discipline your mind. You have to change your thinking and get your thinking in alignment with saving. Put your thinking. So when my husband and I sat down to look at 2023, we took away exactly what you said to me. Where is our charity? Did we take care of charity? And then we looked at, okay, what do we owe? How to pay it off quickly. Because we are, and I'm speaking specifically, we set our own self up in debt, which ended up being a super rough year mentally on us, physically on us, and even to the relationship. So we're walking around even more tense and more, it's argumentative because of the fact that we have this debt. And it always made me think of the prayer the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us, the seek refuge prayer, where I seek refuge from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. Because that's what it is. It becomes oppression. When someone's calling you saying, hey, you got that today? Hey, we got to make arrangement. So getting that discipline of mind, I'm getting out of debt and staying focused.
So this is how you get out of debt. Write down all your bills from the least you owe to the most.
Okay.
Your concentration is to pay off the least, because that's one less thing you got to worry about.
Right.
And then say you were paying at least $50 a month. Okay, now add that $50 because you paid it off to whatever you're paying the next least. So maybe that one is another $80. So you pay off, so 80 and 50, now you're paying 130 on the second lease. So
Right.
it's going to pay it off quicker. And then you pay that one off. Now, what I do that system. But if I got, say, 3 of them under $2,000, I'm trying to pay off 3.
Right.
As many as you can pay off. And then it's better to pay, even if when I started again this time, I ended up on one credit card, $12,000.
Right.
Okay, but all the rest of them are paid.
Right.
So I can easily pay this one $1,000 or $2,000 a month and get rid of it.
Right.
So then I'm out of debt again.
Right. So the focus is getting out of debt, look at each bill, piece them apart.
Once you get out of debt, if you're married, see if all your bills are fit into one income.
Okay.
Because if so, that leaves you another whole income that you can invest. Now, I'm too old for property. I did property.
Right.
But you might buy a house for $20,000, $30,000 because that whole income is there for your use. I'm believing making money work for me, so I'm doing the 4.15% interest.
Right, savings program.
And compounding it weekly, and then I put it into another account that's 6%, up to 6% compounded monthly. So you can 3 times whatever your investment amount is within 18 months, at least, 3 to 5 times your income. So say you got $2,000 and you invest it in 18 months, you'll have about 8.
Right.
You can't get that in a bank anywhere. And so I'm at the point I just want money to work for me. I don't really want to work hard anymore.
Now, with that said, so the takeaway, if you have to take away and say to a room full of people who are struggling to get by, here are 3 to 4 key elements that I want you to take away from this episode. For those who are just struggling, for those who are looking to save, for those who have maxed themselves out, what do you say to them?
Okay, first, pay charity. Second, do a budget so you'll have an understanding of where you are.
Okay.
What is the seriousness of your debt? It might not be as bad as you think, actually.
Right.
But it could be worse. Okay, if it's worse, where are you going to get extra money from? Do I have a skill or talent that I can use, or do I need to go get another job?
Right.
I don't believe I think 2 jobs are for 2 people, but I've worked 2 jobs a number of times.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I wanted to be debt free. So if it's 2 people in the family and 2 people got 2 jobs, either at home or out, it's not going to take you that long to get out of the debt.
Mm-hmm.
Then make sure you have insurance on everything that's important to you. If you rent, you should have renter's insurance. Because if there's fire or a flood, your stuff is not covered by your landlord's insurance. You should have life insurance, at least a burial policy.
Right.
You shouldn't put that on your friends and family to bury you.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you can, you should invest in the kind of policy that's going to grow, earn money for you since you need insurance anyway. And then finally, find a savings plan that compounds your money so it will grow like the bank's money grows.
Excellent.
And so those are the things. Insurance, and do your taxes.
And do your taxes.
And do your taxes. Don't let IRS come take away your house and everything you've worked for. Do your taxes.
Yes, ma'am. So I hope what you got from today's episode is looking at your money more seriously, looking at your skills and talents to create yourself more money, but mainly get out of debt. That's our goal for 2023. We're going to move and get ourselves out of debt. Thank you, Sister
Thank
Zora,
you.
so much. You just don't know how grateful I am for the skills and your talents. We will be giving your information for those of you who would like more information about the savings program and to talk to Sister Zora to help you and your family get better suited and on your budget. We thank you again for tuning in for another episode of
me.
At My Sister's House.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.